After 10 minutes of not knowing where to go, I'm just gonna begin this again. What's up, guys? Ranger Liz here with a Rider review. Kamen Rider Zi-O came out. Yay! All hail the king. There was gonna be like a Burger King joke in here, but everything was falling flat. You know what didn't fall flat, though? The first episode of Kamen Rider Zi-O. That thing was a roller coaster, and they probably were on a roller coaster at some point. They were with dinosaurs. They were in, like, the old, like, Edo period. They met Kamen Rider Build, and Crossy, of course. Went back to 2017, and he eventually transforms into becoming Zi-O, even though by doing so, he knew his future was to become a giant overlord of death and destruction. I feel like I should almost stop it there. That was probably the best one line I recorded. This show is just everywhere, so I'm gonna start with the theme song on it. I am leaning towards liking it, but after going through Exade and Build, who had two of my absolute favorite Rider themes, probably in my top 5 Rider themes, were both of those. I absolutely love them. This, to me, it just couldn't stand up to it. I mean, I enjoyed it enough. I'm not disliking it, but after only having heard it probably 4 or 5 times, watched it on the theme only about twice, I'm definitely going to allow it to grow on me a little bit and see if I like it more. This guy, however, our main writer, Sogo, we didn't get a ton of character development in this. There were a lot of things they had to set up, and I feel like they wanted to show you so much to get you hooked in the show, so much as to what this show is going to be, that maybe we didn't really get a ton out of who this main writer is, other than the fact, I mean, we get the basics, and I guess it was helpful they read a little bio of him. Lives with his uncle in a clock repair shop, 3rd year high school student, good at history, bad at physics, and yeah, really wants to be a king when he gets older. That's all he wants to be, in fact, for his placement exams and for whatever. He wasn't going to take them. He told the counselor, I'm going to be a king. There we go. So is it fate? Is it him wanting to be, so it became true? Oh, things could get crazy. We talked to his uncle, though, and I'm going to just kind of jump because I'm mentioning, like, fate right now. He talks to his uncle later, and he thinks it was all a dream, basically. And he said, you know, he got to be a king. However, he was, you know, a really bad overlord, and, you know, he doesn't know what to think about it. So his uncle gives him a bit of words of advice. He said, one time, you know, I had a chance at something, and I let it slip me by, thinking I would get another chance. He goes, well, what was it? Did you get that chance? And he said, no, you know, I never got that other chance. You never know if you're going to get a second opportunity. Now, it's not like the uncle was clearly talking about becoming a king in this, because he thinks you saw the side glances, he thinks it's a little like, and he thinks it was a dream, but Sogo takes that advice to heart. He wants to be king, he had a chance, this is his chance, he might not get many chances. How many chances in a lifetime do you get to be a king? Jumping back to current day, past day, the beginning of the episode, we'll just go with that. You have him being chased by a giant red robot. Giant red robot being controlled by Gates, who's trying to hunt him down. See, he's under the impression of, look, if I just kill you before you become Zi-O, then I don't have to worry about you becoming Zi-O. I'm not all about murder, but he does have a point. But Tsukiyomi saves him. Tsukiyomi is going to be I'm not going to say the maid or the guide, but she's basically the one who gave him the watch. Or maybe the watch was coming to him. The watch, his red watch, just started appearing. Now, she's the one who's filling him in on everything. Tsukiyomi basically says, get in, while he's being chased by this giant robot. He gets in and learns that in the future, 50 years from now, he will become the Demon King, the devil king, whatever. Basically, he's going to be the most evil overlord of all time. He finds this out, you know, while walking home from school. They escape only to go to the dinosaur era where he gets chased by a dinosaur, and then they go to the Edo period, which Gates shows up to chase them down in his suited form, which is nice to see. They escape from there again to 2017, which is where they meet Kamen Rider Build and Cross Z. Man, did I forget? I just want to call him Banjo, Kamen Rider Banjo. You know, you guys probably just got done watching Build. You know what I'm talking about. He goes to meet them. It is a very strange meeting. Like, he sees other Kamen Riders, and I guess maybe he kind of, from there, he kind of learns that, you know, they're taking their power and they're fighting for good. I'm sure that was a very helpful thing to him, though one just has to assume that was kind of a conversation that had, because we don't really see a lot of conversation between Build and Sogo. I'm gonna eventually probably start saying his name wrong, sorry. While there, he's chatting for a bit, wanting to know a bit about the future, whenever Tsukiyomi shows back up and zaps all of them, saying basically, don't talk to people in the past more than you have to. Don't interact with things. Don't potentially screw things up, which is probably a good idea, and it's gonna be a recurring theme. I mean, it's a theme in time travel shows in general, but I'm sure it's gonna be a theme in this, to not mess up the past or do things that are going to screw up the future, although the future is not set in stone, I guess, as we've learned from Time Force, but that's a whole nother story. This whole thing of time travel is just going to be bizarre, and then then he's going to meet Decade at some point, and the world is actually going to end. Pretty sure that's it. Not with World War III, with Decade and Zi-O are going to meet. After being zapped, he wakes up in his bed, and now we're almost caught up to where I said he's talking to his uncle about thinking this whole thing was a dream, because, I mean, really, you're walking home from school, next thing you know, you're waking up in your bed thinking maybe you took a nap after you got home from school, and all of that was so insane, it had to have been a dream, right? Right. Except not. And the big bad is actually, he was chosen. I don't want to add too much in the villains here, but basically, the big ol' monster was made from someone who was saved from death. Basically, their time, more or less, was up. Time froze. This guy who, I don't even think I grabbed his name, but, hey, you basically being chosen. You take this contract, meaning you become this monster, and I saved your life. Well, he takes it and he becomes a Build monster. Now, this Build monster, it seems really strange because he's using a basketball at one point, but he is sucking up, like, athletes. He's trying to get all these, like, athlete powers. Because this monster is attacking, he runs in to help, and the watch starts reacting. And we get another character entering in this one named Waz, who I immediately just fell in love with. Just no shame. No shame. Who eggs him on, saying, yes, be that king, be that king. But Sogo's saying, if I become that king, I have to be, you know, like this evil overlord. He's like, but I'm not going to. I am going to use, I've wanted to make people happy and create peace. And for that, I will become a king, which confuses Waz and makes the girl whose name already escaped me already very happy. The watch responds, because it wasn't responding before, and we get the Henshin! First fight goes pretty smooth, as they normally kind of do, and he defeats the Build baddie. The monster goes away, left with the human laying there. He kind of twitches, so I guess he gets to live in the end. So he just becomes a monster for a while and then gets to survive. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of a win on his form, I guess. He becomes Zi-O. The suit, love the suit. The henchen's pretty cool. Very much is the time aspect. The music in the background, music and stuff, it's gonna grow on me. I know it will, because when I first heard it, it really threw me off, but I'm liking it more and more the second watch through. Waz is super happy that he henchened into Zi-O, but Tsukiyomi, of course, is not. Why would you do that? Gates shows up saying, why did you let him do this? And now he's gonna take over everything. And Gates attacks, just when we really get a first look at what these rider armor things are gonna be. Gates gets to transform. We get to see, because when he first comes in, he's not in a suit. So we do get to see the full transformation for him. And he gets to use the Icon Ride Watch. but you only get to see little hints of it, I guess, because it's going to be in the beginning of the next episode. This is where the episode cuts off. Is basically Gates going to attack Zi-O. Now, that long, rambly version of what happened-ish, now that I've kind of watched it a second time while I was talking through it, how do I feel about it? Well, I'm definitely more intrigued the second time through than I was the first time through, and perhaps it's because I was just picking up more and more things. With it starting off so fast-paced, I feel like I'm going to need to, I don't know, write notes or something just for the first few episodes so I can keep track of what's going on. I don't normally I'm not planning on doing episode reviews for the entire thing of Zi-O. In fact, I usually just do a handful to start off with, just to kind of get a feel for the series, let you guys know kind of how I'm feeling about the series, and then I just kind of let it go from there and then just talk about the news. But I'm definitely intrigued, and I'm ready to go for episode 2. What did you guys think? Like it? Hate it? A little bit in between, or for a lot of us, maybe it's just a little bit too early to tell. But if episode 1 is any indication, I'm sure I'm really going to enjoy it. It's going to be an anniversary season, seeing lots of past riders, which I'm really excited for. Especially, I mean, you're excited to see the riders that you've missed, that you haven't seen in 10 years. You're excited to see the ones that you've never seen before. In my case, I've never seen some of these past seasons, so yeah, bring on the actors. Maybe I'll find the next Rider season that I really want to watch, and that'd be a win-win, wouldn't it? So many characters, so many things. Thanks for sticking around, guys. This has been Kamen Rider Zi-O. A big ol' meh so far? Whatever that means. I'll see you at the next video, guys. Doodles.